Welcome, everyone. I am going to have the pleasure of talking to Emma Campbell. She is an expert on all things related to Interact. We get to talk to her today because she is someone that we want to highlight for RILA, and RILA is Rotary Youth Leadership Awards. And again, what we want to do is talk about and award those people who have done and continue to do amazing things in their leadership role. So Emma, would you just like to say a few words about yourself before we get started?
Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Emma Campbell. I graduated from the Ketchikan High School in 2020, so the year of COVID. But now I'm at at Linfield University in Oregon. I'm having a blast here. And Interact is something that completely changed my whole life and really made me the person who I am today. And I'm so thankful for it and all the support that I had through District 5010 and back home, the First City Rotary Club.
Okay, so I have some questions for Emma, and she brings up a good point. I probably should mention that District 5010 is Alaska. So Emma, first, what was your introduction or first experience with Interact?
So I was in eighth grade at Shumbar Middle School, and for my birthday, I got a big hydro flask. It's the 64-ounce hydro flask, and the water bottle fountains at the school couldn't fit my water bottle so I could fill it up because I drank a lot of water because I'm a swimmer. And so I went to my principal and I said, "Hey, we should get one of these refillable water bottle stations that I've seen at the high school and around our community." And he said, "Okay, I'll pay half." And so from there, the vice principal said, "Hey, there's an Interact Club. You should go to them and figure out how we can fundraise to get the other half of the money for the water bottle station." And so I went to the Interact Club and I said, "Hey, I have this idea and I think we should do it." And we came up with fundraising some baked goods at one of our school dances. And we came up with the funds in order to install the water bottle fountain at the school. And it's still there today. And so that was my first introduction to Interact. And since then, I joined the club at the middle school and then proceeded to join Interact when I got to high school.
So tell me, when it comes to someone like you, what drew you to Interact?
I think having that first experience that I had an idea and I could find a group that we got to get it done was something that I was very fascinated about. And as a young age, this was like my first beginning steps to becoming a leader. And who would have known that, like me, first day school freshman, figuring about the clubs and like, oh, I'm going to go to the Interact meeting, to then one day being president and having the club be so successful. So it's just, I found a group of young students who wanted to help make a difference. And I found a group of adults who wanted to help those students make a difference. So I felt like it was just an organization that fit with me perfectly. And I'm so happy I got to find it. And it's really shaped who I am today. So it's what really drew me to it.
So what made you want to be president of the club?
Well, my freshman year, I was a member, and there were seniors in charge. And one of my role models, her name's Angie Gomez, and she was president. She was also on the swim team, so I knew her before. And she was the one who really encouraged me to apply to be an officer to help take the reins next year. And there was me and one other who both applied. And so we got the position as co-presidents. So that was really what made me do it. I wasn't expecting when I applied to become president, but I did. And it was great. It was fun. And so that's what made me continue. And I was the one who stuck around to, because the co-president my sophomore year, he was a senior. So he was leaving. So then there was just me. And then I got another team my junior year full of seniors. So then my senior year, I was president again. And then I got a team of younger classmen finally, so they could take the reins. But yeah, that's how it kind of came about.
Wonderful. So tell us how Interact, and I apologize for the kitty cat. So tell us how you feel Interact benefited you personally and from a leadership standpoint.
I think, there's I grew up kind of volunteering. When I was I think it was in elementary school, I started volunteering at the Pioneer Home, and I was in the activities department, and I got to hang out with residents and learn how to play crib and cards and bingo and go to ice cream socials. And it was so much fun. And my mom tells me like she saw this like volunteering aspect in me and someone who wanted to help others. Um, and I guess I didn't really know that about myself until I was in high school and I really started doing all the projects that the Kayhi Rotary Interact Club does. And I think it's really like I know who I am and I know what I like, and it's really shaped of what I want to study here at Linfield and what I want to pursue as a career when I'm older. And I know it's going to be something related to public service, whatever that might be. I have to answer that question soon, but it's made me get involved in things and want to help things, and it's really I've defined who I am as a leader. I'm actually pursuing a minor in leadership at my school. They just created it, so it's right up my alley. And I'm taking a class about leadership right now. It's like our introductory class, and I've already learned. This might sound bad, but there's a lot of things in the class that I already know and I learned through Interact and the relationships that I've been able to form and Interact. So I'm very thankful that I can, learn more about my leadership style in an academic way here at school, but in practice, I've already had all these experiences that I've been able to do. So, I mean, it's Interact is an amazing thing, and I think it's really helped people who have just been in the club in high school as well.
Well, tell us about the Kayhi Interact Club.
Well, I think we're the best club at Kayhi. That's what I like to say. By the end of my senior year, we had over 100 members. So it made up a big chunk of the school population. We were definitely the biggest club at Kayhi. And I think one thing that the club has done is it made volunteering cool, and it made volunteering and helping others a cool thing. And there was also a little competition in it. So, people wanted to get the most volunteer hours. But it just became a great group of kids, and it became really a respectable thing. And everyone in the community, if you had that on your resume, they knew what our club did because of all the things we did in the community and globally. They knew who we were, and it made the club a big thing. So we do a bunch of different events. We have they have, because I'm no longer a part of it. I'm in the past now, but I still feel so connected. But we had yearly events that we did every single year. So that was the Blueberry Arts Festival. We started with the International Day of Peace is September 21st. So now our school puts on a celebration for that. And we help with those activities. We do an event every year for that. We have the Haunted Mansion, which is usually working with the Coast Guard base in Ketchikan. We have the Pie Auction, which benefits the Pioneer Homes. So, it's so much fun. One of my favorite events. We do a Winter Arts Festival, and we also have a Daddy-Daughter Dance and a color run. So those are the 7 events that we do every single year without fail. And we have all these other events that we were kind of calling them service projects or other events that people in the community said, hey, I need volunteers to help with this auction. Would you guys be able to do this? And we said, yes. People would sign up, go and help. And, that's where we got the strong community ties in there and how we became really respectable in the community. So those are some of the things we did. Those service projects, like I said, they differed every year. Some of them we started repeating, and others we didn't, but could do other things. So yeah, those are some of the things we did, and I can go a little bit more into depth of them if you want, but those are just some of the projects we did.
Well, they sound like they're a lot of fun. Tell me you mentioned the pie, but is there any others that kind of rise to the top as your favorites?
Yeah, it's so hard because I love all of them. Like the Blueberry Arts Festival is before school, and so it's just the officers, and we get to work together. And there's a bunch of different booths going on. Our arts council puts it on, and we have a booth where we sell products from an organization called TAFCOM, which is in Tanzania, Africa, and it's African prints. So there are all these really vibrant and funky prints, and they're super cool. We sell like yoga mat bags, like regular bags, aprons, oven mitts, and pot holders. And oh my gosh, they're a hit. They're so fun, and it's so cool to talk about the organization. And you engage with a lot of people in the community, but it's also in August when cruise ships normally are in town. And so there's tourists that walk by, and it's so cool. Every year without fail, we find a Rotarian from somewhere else in the country who sees our booth, sees Rotary, and comes up and talks to us, and we can talk to him about our club or her, whoever it is. There's usually a group of them. But that's so much fun there, and it's directly like engaging with the community, with our Coast Guard base, the Haunted Mansion. We get to dress up, and we usually get to tour people around the maze and get to scare people and do face painting on little kids. It's so much fun. And our Peace Week, like we're celebrating peace, it's so cool. We usually do a school dance, so that's been really fun, and the high school kids love that. So the pie auction, though, oh my gosh, who doesn't love pie? I love pie so much. And it's so cool because you like these pies are getting auctioned off for so much money. And I always bake a pie during the auction. And I think one year one of my pies went for like $130, which is just awesome. Like we're directly benefiting the Pioneer Home and the activities fund at our local Pioneer Home. And that's where I started volunteering. So that really it's a big connection for me. And then going into the spring/early winter in February, usually around Valentine's Day, we do a daddy-daughter dance. That is so much fun, seeing all these little girls all dressed up and their dads there having a good time with them and dancing and having fun. It's amazing to see. And one thing through the years that I've been doing this is that there's some daughters that don't have dads, and we've seen moms come in and dress up like dads, and they've taken their daughters to the dance, and it just really warms my heart. And seeing, when dad's coming up and saying this made her so happy, this really meant a lot. And it's so warming when you've directly benefited someone and you made someone's day, or you've been able to help people. And lastly, the color run we do is usually in the spring, and we run around Ward Lake, which is one of our main trails in Ketchikan. Everyone goes to Ward Lake to walk around, and we get to throw paint at people. And we usually partner with a community organization, and that event helps for suicide awareness. And so it's something that we've heard from a lot of people that have suffered with like seasonal depression or just depression themselves, mental health issues. And they said, wow, I got to go outside. It was a nice day. I got to have some colorful paint thrown on me, and it just lifted my spirits, made me happy. And hearing stories from people and how just events like these help, there's just nothing more satisfying than being able to help people. And that's what really drives me. And every event, it's so much work, but it's so worth it. And seeing the reactions and how it benefits people, it's just makes me so happy.
Oh, I loved your story about how it came full circle for you with the Pioneer Home.
Yes.
That's wonderful. So I guess, from a leadership standpoint, what do you think made your club so strong there? And what would you say helps keep it going?
Well, it definitely keeps it going by leadership in the club and members. If you don't have a leader who is going to be able to continuously keep the club going, you have to have people that are going to be in charge and going to be willing to do the hard work and the planning for it. And you need to have a group. You can't just do it by yourself. You have to have a team working with you, because it is a lot of work, or you just need people to work with you. But you also need members. You can't do all the projects by yourself. We can't, and depending on the function, we need 10 people, or we need 20 people, or we need 30 people. You need bodies. You need to be engaging the students and making it fun and giving them like kind of an incentive to do it. So for Rotary Interact has blue sashes that you can buy. And so we award those to seniors who have worked hard and completed a set of requirements in order to earn those sashes. So for our seniors, we require them to be at all of our main events, those 7 events that I mentioned. And that gives them an incentive to do it, but they also want to do it. And we also gave kind of a tier ranking of, if you're in between this amount of hours, you're in the gold tier, or you're in the bronze tier, or the silver tier. And so we kind of give them a little bit of an incentive to do it. And, like this can go on your resume kind of thing. But the whole goal is to make volunteering fun and to have fun projects that people want to do, and not just be like, oh, I got to go volunteer, or like, no, I get to go pet the cats, or I get to go throw colorful paint at people, making it fun really helps keep the groups going, and you want to be active as well. You want to continuously have projects for people to do to keep them engaged, as well as meetings. You want to meet often. You want to meet, we were usually meeting once a week, or sometimes we'd meet every other week. But mainly we met once a week, and we had something going on where we were either talking about a project, or we would bring someone in from the community to come talk about the project, or even like we had some Rotarians from our club come and speak about things that they do in the community. And just keeping people engaged is what really matters, because if you have the downtime, people are kind of like, oh, it's easier to say when it gets going again that, oh no, it's okay, I have other things to do. But if you continuously keep it going, you will continuously keep people engaged in the club.
Yes. Now, from a meat and bones standpoint, you said you met. Did you meet in the school? And if so, how did you work with the school on where it was that you would meet and the time of day?
So we did meet at the school. We usually, depending on the meeting, we started meeting, we got a snack break. So it was about 20 minutes, I believe. So it could help keep the meetings short and brief. If we had a longer meeting, we would meet at lunch. We found, though, with attendance, we tracked attendance of everything. We had our members sign in, and they had a requirement for attendance that they needed to be at our meetings. I believe it was like 75% or something. But we kept a log of all that as well. But we found with attendance would drop if we had our meetings during lunch, because if people didn't bring their lunch, they wanted to go and get lunch, or they wanted to socialize, or they had other things to do during that lunch period. So we tried to keep them during our snack break, which was about 10 to 15, not 10 to 15, excuse me, 15 to 20 minutes. So we could keep things short and brief, and it kept people engaged and going there. What was the second part of your question?
Oh, and just how did you work with the school? So if somebody is listening to this and thinking, gosh, how would I create an arrangement and who would I talk to in my high school?
Yeah. So one thing that I would suggest is finding a teacher who either knows about Rotary, or you could tell them about Rotary and what you want to do. For us, towards the end, there was a little bit of um, we had a student body group. It was called SBA, Student Body Association. And we had a little bit of trouble there, which was unfortunate. But ultimately, it came down to, we're a club, we're about volunteering and helping people. And we weren't in the position of trying to infringe on SBA. So we had a little bit of a trouble there. But ultimately, it came down to the school. And the school administration, like our principal and vice principal, they knew what we were doing as a club, and were going to help keep us here and kind of ease the flame going on in there. So it was kind of hard, but Rotary interacts, Rotary is a global organization, and the SBA should not be in charge of the Rotary Club. They're two separate things. So that was something we really need to make sure that was defined and established. So that was something that was kind of hard. But I would suggest finding a teacher that you know well, or someone you could get to know well, and asking about resources and what your school's policies are. Basically, we met in the library because it was the biggest room to hold our club. And I knew the librarians well. We all knew the librarians well. And we just asked, hey, can we meet in here during snack break? And they said, sure. And we wrote our name on a list, and we had our room reserved. So that's how it worked there. But yeah, so I think that ultimately the school would not be opposed to a Rotary Interact Club. There might be some people opposed to it, but you can work around that. And as long as you have a strong leadership base and you have interest with student members, you can get the support from the administration and really pitch them, service above self. That's the motto, right? So really pitch to them that this is a volunteering organization and we just want to make the world a better place. So how can they say no to that?
Right. Those are all excellent points. How absolutely could they say no to that? Okay, so next, what kind of relationship did you have with local Rotary clubs and Rotarians? Tell us a little about that.
Oh my gosh. So our local Rotary club, our sponsoring club was First City Rotary. We also have another club in town, Rotary 2000. We were our sponsoring club, First City Rotary. One of a prominent Rotarian in that club, Rosie Ropel, she taught next door to my mom. My mom's a high school teacher. So they taught with each other for a couple of years. And Rosie she is just one of my idols. I look up to this woman so much. She is amazing. And so every time, we went to the club, it was just like meeting with friends. You know, the club is amazing. All of them, they laugh, they have fun together. The meetings are entertaining, and they were just so willing to help support us. And they just were seeing us thrive, and they weren't too involved, but they weren't not too involved. It was just us as students working together, but they were there always to help support us. They'd attend our events, they'd come to our meetings. It's just so much fun. I just love it. I miss it so much, you know, waking up really early on Thursday mornings to get to the 7 a.m. meeting, having some breakfast, standing up and doing the Pledge of Allegiance and the four-way test. That was a great way to start my Thursday mornings. And we just knew that we had people rooting for us, and those people are prominent members in the community, and they're helping the community support us as well and know what we are and what we do. And you know, I think that when you go in the halls of Ketchikan High School, you can say Rotary Interact and people know what it is. And most likely, if you're running into someone in the grocery store around town, they know what the Kayhi Rotary Interact Club is, and they know what Rotary is. So I think that's something that's special, and I think that should be, it just makes me so happy. I really miss it. I haven't been able to start a Rotaract club here. I've been extremely busy, but it's something that I would really like to do here. Hopefully when I get a chance, maybe next year would be cool.
Well, you've already done so much. That's why it's so easy to talk about everything you've done. And I just hear it in your voice too, how much you enjoyed it. So I am sure when you do have time, because like you said, you're very busy, it's going to be amazing when you do. What advice would you give someone who's listening to this right now and says, I think I might want to start an Interact club in my school? What advice do you give them?
I would say do it. Awesome. Do it. Find some of your friends or other classmates that you know and talk to them about Rotary. Tell them what Rotary Interact is and see if they would want to join in and help you. I would suggest that the first thing you need to do is kind of help form a foundational base. So with your leadership with the club, so that can be like president, vice president, secretary, treasurer. Those are some positions, the standard positions we have. You don't have to establish those right away, but just kind of get a group together of someone that would be willing to take on a leadership role. From there, you need to start recruiting members. I feel like normally some school, if you go to the school and you just say, hey, I want to start this club, they will probably ask you like, who's involved? Is this actually going to happen? So then start recruiting people around the school, kind of tell them about some ideas that you have. I would really suggest thinking about, if you want to start an Interact club, I'm guessing you have something that you see as a problem or an issue or something you want to change or something you want to help. So I would say start thinking about whatever that big idea is and how the Rotary Interact club can help. From there, you are going to definitely need Rotary club to sponsor you and to help you. And I would say find one of those meetings, reach out to someone, find someone that's going to help you do that, and start forming your relationship with them, and they will be able to help support you. And I'm just saying, do it. Like, you will not be disappointed. It might be a lot of work, but you'll do it and it'll be so much fun. And yeah, that's kind of some of the advice I have. I think the main thing is just, being passionate about something, you're going to get it done no matter what. And I think if you'll just do it and you'll have a blast. I would definitely suggest a color run. I think that's pretty fun and easy. And I mean, who doesn't like having paint thrown on them? And I love throwing paint on people. So yeah.
You saw my running t-shirt then, you're
Yes,
saying,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Well, a question for you. If someone were to be, to go to the school and say that this is something that they really wanted to do, how do you think your school benefits from the Kayhi Club?
Oh, that's perfect. So I think it's giving students a way to volunteer. I don't know, our school had a 100 hours of either volunteer or work experience in order to graduate. So that's something that you can pitch there, that we're a volunteering club and we can help get volunteer hours in for students. But I think the main thing is that you're going to help engage students in the community. And that's something that's going to benefit everybody. And you're also going to be engaging in your school, and you can do things to directly help your school too. Like when I was in middle school, I helped get the water bottle fountain refillable station into the school. And that's something that helped benefit the school. So I think I think that, the Interact Club will be able to benefit in multiple different ways. You can start with your school, your community, your state, your country, and then globally. And just think about those overall things that you can help pitch to the school that will really, that will make the school more likely to say yes. I don't think they would say no. So,
Oh, those are excellent, excellent examples. So my last question for you, what final advice or information do you want to share about Interact? It can be anything.
okay. I think my biggest thing of advice is that if you're scared or nervous or you're unsure, find your Rotary Club, find a Rotarian that's going to help you and is going to be willing to support you, because you also need an advisor for the club. So I think, really you can work that through with them. You can meet all together with the kid, your friends or your peers that are wanting to help start the Interact Club with you, because you're going to need support, you're going to need help, and meet with that Rotarian. And I would say reaching out, finding out about different Interact clubs in the state. I know anyone at Kayhi and Ketchikan would be more than willing to talk with you and to tell you about the club. It could be members or the people in charge, and there's other Interact clubs all around the state. I would say reaching out to them. I know there's some sort of database somewhere that can help put you in charge of those people, or even the Rotarians in your local community can reach out to Rotarians in Ketchikan. Rotary, we're all connected. We're connected in the state, the country, and all over the world. So I would just say you are not alone. You have so much support with you. It's just finding the door to open and to find all the support that's going to be with you. But, just do it. Just start an Interact Club. You will not regret it. It'll be so beneficial to you and your community.
Well, that is great advice. I can tell you speak from experience because it's very, very obvious. You are an amazing young lady. So I just want to thank you today for taking the time to answer any questions. You're an exceptional resource. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and end our interview. And you can also look on the RILA website, because we have just a brief handout on what Interact is. So Emma, thank you so much. And we so appreciate you talking with us.
Yeah, thank you so much.